People, how y'all doing this morning? How y'all doing this morning? Nobody is responsible for managing my life. I am responsible for managing my life. Good morning, Miss Sybil. What's going on? What's going on, Miss Cynthia? Maria, thank you so much for helping me out on yesterday evening. Truly appreciate it. We had an opportunity to represent effective living at the city of Red Oak for their National Night Out Against Crime. And so the police chief asked me to, hey, come bring a tent and represent our company. And I was able to go out and really connected with the people. And so thank you so much. Love and appreciate the fact that I got support, man. I am not alone. Yeah, thank you guys for the music. Y'all like the music, huh? Y'all like we're doing a little bit different. It's October, y'all. It's October. Good morning to all of you. Love and appreciate you guys daily. Hey, we're on a journey. A journey that is built around personal responsibility. Okay, a journey that's built around personal responsibility. Something a lot of people don't like to hear. Now, here's the deal. Everything is not going to go your way. Everything's not going to go your way. But I'm responsible for managing as much as I can. Miss Kim, I'm responsible for managing as much as I can. Everything is not going to go my way. But what I need to do is I need to study my life and I need to assess how my life is going. And so, Ms. Phyllis, once I identify, okay, there are some things that needs to be addressed, then you start making those adjustments. Who's responsible for making the adjustments? Come on. Who's responsible for making the adjustments? Can I get some comment in the comment section? Who's responsible? Yeah. Who's responsible for making the adjustment? Come on. Thank you, Miss Phyllis, for showing up this morning. Glad you're here. Maria, glad you're here. Oh, yeah, Miss Phyllis, that's it. Kim, that's it. Miss Sybil, that's it. I'm responsible for making the adjustment. If I don't like what I'm seeing in regards to my life, I'm responsible for making the adjustment. Now, yesterday, as you get up this morning, you can tell yourself that, hey, I'm making some adjustments. You know why? One of the reasons why I'm making some adjustments? Because next year, the same time, I won't be at the same place. Next year, the same time, I won't be at this same place. I am making some adjustments. So you can confess that. You can write it in your journal. This is the season of my life where I'm learning how to make adjustments. Why? Because I realize I don't have to stay stuck. What a joy. What a joy to know that I don't have to stay stuck. I don't have to stay where I am. If I find myself repeatedly saying the same thing is my reality, then I'm not taking responsibility to make adjustments to my reality. I can make adjustments to my reality. That's powerful. That is powerful. I can make adjustments to my reality. Now, here's what I want you to think about today. We're dealing with this whole concept of burnout, okay? How do I prevent burnout? How do I set myself up so burnout don't become my reality? Now, some people actually totally shut off and then they disengage, and it doesn't help them either. Totally shutting off and totally disengaging is not the way. Jamal, you decide to not do anything, it's going to hurt you. You decide to do too much, it's going to hurt you. Did you see that, Jamal? Do you see that, Kim? Miss Phyllis, you see that? You decide to do nothing, and that's going to hurt you. It's going to impact you. You decide to do too much, and that's going to impact you. Okay? The Bible says it like this, Q. The Bible says, wisdom is the principal thing. And in all you're getting, get an understanding. Get an understanding. So all of us, we look at our lives, and you have to start saying, where do I need to make adjustments? Where do I need to make adjustments? And the key to taking control of your life is looking at every aspect of your life. And then you start realizing, I don't like how this side of my life is going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make adjustments. Okay. I'm making adjustments to my reality. I'm making adjustments. Kim, you got it right. Hello? I'm making adjustments to my reality. I don't have to stay stuck. It is not the will of God for me to stay stuck. So I'm making some adjustments. It's okay to make adjustments. It's okay to make adjustments. Now, here's what I want to talk about when it comes to burnout, because burnout is real. Burnout is real, but you don't have the burnout. Burnout is real, and a lot of people will burn out this year. A lot of people in the years to come will continue to burn out because a lot of people, they're not paying attention to how they're living. If you fail to pay attention to how you are living, the devil will wreak havoc on your life. If you fail to pay attention on how you are living, the enemy will wreak havoc on your life. You have to assess your life, every aspect of it, and ask yourself, how am I living? How am I living? And then watch this, Pastor Kino, when you identify an area of your life that's not in line with living life effectively, you then have to commit to making adjustments. So it is your reality, but you have to make adjustments to your reality when your reality doesn't align itself up with what you should be about. I'm responsible for making the appropriate adjustments in my life. Somebody write that down. I'm responsible for making the appropriate adjustments in my life. Nobody is going to come and make the adjustments for me. I'm responsible. Miss Cynthia, you get that? Come on. Miss Phyllis, you get that? Mother Katie, did you get that? No one is coming to make the adjustments for me. I'm responsible for making the adjustment. So this morning, when we talk about how do we prevent burnout, you have to make up in your mind that you're going to have a healthy work-life balance. You're going to have to become very determined that you're going to have a healthy work-life balance. There are a lot of people who don't have a healthy work-life balance. And because they don't have a healthy work-life balance, they have a tendency of leaning. They have a tendency of leaning over to a side that actually is too much. You've gone too far to the right. You've gone too far to the left. How many of y'all know that's real? How many of y'all will be honest? How many of y'all will be honest? How many of y'all will be honest this morning and say it's real? It's real to be able to lean too far to the right. It's honest to lean too far to the left. And your job, my job, is to take responsibility for bringing a healthy work-life balance. I often hear people say things like, I don't like where I am. I don't like my job. I don't like this. I don't like that. And I'm like, well, you don't have to stay stuck, right? You can change, right? You don't have to be the way you've been. You can decide, henceforth, I'm going to make some adjustments. I'm going to make some adjustments. And as you make those adjustments, your life will reflect your adjustments. Now, oftentimes you could be so far off from where you should be. If you're not patient, you'll quit before you get to where you should be. So John Wells, it's critical for all of us to be patient. Patience is a necessary ingredient for living life effectively. You're going to get there, but if you've not been there in a while, you've been far off from there, then you got to commit to stick with it for the long haul. Okay? You got to commit to sticking with it for the long haul. I'm not going to quit when I discover the principles necessary to living life correctly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with the principle. And over time, if I make adjustments as needed, guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to quit. So what happens is I'm chipping away, 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 I'm chipping away. You know why? Because I realize I'm responsible for making the appropriate adjustments in my life. Everybody is not going to like your adjustments. Okay? Everybody's not going to like your adjustments, but it is your responsibility to adjust your life in proportion to where you're trying to go. Everybody's not trying to go where you're going. Your heart's desire is not everybody's heart's desire. Okay? Your heart's desire is not everybody's heart's desire. And then there are some people, John Wells, there are some people, they have the same conversation as you, but they don't have the same commitment to do the work like you. They have the same conversation. You can sit down and talk with them and they agree with you and they talk about it like you're talking about it. But when the rubber meets the road, when it comes to rolling up your sleeve and putting in the work, there are a lot of people who talk a good talk. And let me tell you something. I am very committed in this season of my life to assess where I am and identify what adjustments needing to be made. And I don't want to be the person who finds himself just talking a good talk. So look at your life and ask yourself, is there a healthy work-life balance? Are you finding yourself putting your hand to the plow? The Bible talks about, see a man diligent in his business, he'll stand before kings. In other words, are you a worker? Are you a person who is not afraid to get your hands dirty? Are you comfortable going all in when it comes to your career and your profession and whatever you commit to, you show up strong? Yes, okay, I like that. Now that's your work. A lot of people, when it comes to work, they're doing real big. You know, they're doing phenomenal things. However, when it comes to their life, they're not spending time with themselves. They don't have an idea as to what life at its best is for themselves. In other words, they're not balanced. There is not a healthy balance. You're progressing in your career, but you're not progressing in your personal life. You're progressing in your career, but you're not progressing in your personal life. And then there are some people who aren't progressing in either. They're just there. They're just there, and boredom has got them. They literally, they have not taken responsibility to owning their position. I'm responsible for owning my position. I'm responsible for making the adjustments. And every day, I don't need to make big adjustments. I just need to be making adjustments. I need to be doing things different. I need to be doing things better. I don't need to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. I don't want to just agree with the truth. I want to apply the truth that I agree to. Once I discover truth, I want to fight to make that truth a part of how I live. Okay? Once I discover truth, I want to fight to make that truth a part of how I live. Now, Coach, why you say fight? I say fight because, Kim, do you agree with this statement? Pastor Claire, do you agree with the statement that it is easier to discover and agree with truth than to apply the truth you've discovered? It is easier to discover and agree with the truth than to apply the truth you've discovered. So you hear a lot of people, Miss Linda, you hear a lot of people who say, I know that. I know that. And so The whole concept of I know the truth is not often a lot of our issues, Miss Linda. It's not often a lot of our issue, Miss Phyllis. The struggle is to become one with the truth you've discovered. It is the discipline to do what you know. Ooh, may the Lord help us all. How many of y'all need help from God with that one? May God give us the discipline to do what we know. That's one of the reasons these morning sessions is worth the coaching package for the one-on-one. Just if a person understand how they can walk in here every morning and just grab a hold of a principle that reminds them, there's no way you can stay stuck. There's no way you could find yourself just living in the same way you've been living, because these concepts is centered around foundational truth. And if you can grab a hold of this, you can change your life forever. The Bible says the truth will set you free. But most of us will say, I know that to be true, but we're not free. We're not free. Why aren't we free? Most of us are not free because we're not applying the truth. We've become a society inundated with understanding without application. Most of us have become impressed with just being aware. Just being aware. I'm about to embark on something I've never done before. 2024, I'm going to be doing a teaching series because I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm real big. I'm real big on this, Kim. I like pursuing the concept of teaching a thing and fighting to live the thing that I teach. Okay, I'm really big on that. You, Pastor Prada Claire, you've known me for a while. You remember the first name of my organization? What was the first name of the organization? Before I put it in the chat, Pastor Claire, before I shout it out, tell the people what was the name of the organization in the Bahamas when I founded the organization. What was the name of the organization that you assisted me so well with, sir? What was the name of the organization? Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's see what Pastor Claire puts in the chat. I want you to see this is real right here. So I'm about to embark on something in 2024 that I've never done before. And I felt a little bit concerned that when I decided that I was going to go ahead and do this, I felt a little bit scared. But I said, Miller, based on how you've lived up to this point, this is a good approach for you to go ahead and do this. And so not only am I going to do it for me, I'm going to do it for the community. Because we're doing this together. If Pastor Brother Claire is still on, listen, Pastor Claire, what was the name of our organization back in the day? What was the name of the organization when we started? Go ahead. Karen says she knows it. Come on, Karen. Go ahead. Put it in the chat. If Karen, I think Pastor Claire's gone. All right. He might be away from his device, but go ahead, put it in the chat, Karen, if you got it. Come on. For some reason, your name ain't showing up, boo. All right. But come on, there it is. She can remember, boy. She's something else. Pastor Claire got it too, man. Words at work. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Listen, years ago, I started an organization, Kim, named the organization was Words at Work. John, I was always big on this, man. My life was changed because of this. I like this. Words at Work was the name. Now, here's what I'm going to do in 2024. That's a big kicker. See right here. I got the workshop flyers right here. It's a workshop flyer. See it? Y'all can see that? I got these workshop flyers. I'm starting to give them out. On December 9th, we're doing a workshop, a financial management workshop, and I'm doing something I've never done before. I've been playing around the subject for a while, but I'm becoming obsessed with the subject, and I'm a big believer in words at work, putting into action what you talk about. Okay, putting into action what you talk about. So I'm going to be speaking in 2024, but it starts with this workshop. I'm going to kick off preparation for the new year. This workshop is on Saturday, December 9th. okay, in Red Oak. Any of you guys, you put this on your calendar. I would love for you to be there. Be in the room. Space is limited. You want to be there, right? But here's what I'm going to be teaching for the first time. Mother Katie, please pray for me. Pray for me because I gotta break the back of poverty. I gotta shift and go to another dimension. I'm going to be doing a teaching on how to make $1 million in 2024. How to make $1 million in 1 year. How to make $1 million in 1 year. I've made $1 million. I did the numbers. I've made $1 million before. Now, I didn't make $1 million where I had $1 million to say I'm a millionaire. You've lived long enough and you calculate your money, you could realize after a while, you realize you had $1 million come through you. But here's the deal, $1 million ain't what it used to be. $1 million ain't what it used to be. And the idea of how to make $1 million in 24 months, in 12 months, sorry, is real. I mean, people are making $1 million in a day. People are making $1 million in a day. And I'm doing a lot of this study on money. And why am I making this intense study? Because if you don't put intensity on taking care of your health, you won't take care of your health at the degree it needs to be. If you don't put an intensity on taking care of your marriage, you won't have the healthy marriage that you need. If you don't put intensity on taking care of your children or enjoying life or making money, listen, Miss Jocelyn, going into this next year, okay, we want to break the code. Okay, you know what they say, Pastor Claire, you've heard them teach it in school and stuff. Aim for the stars, and if you miss the stars, you at least land on the moon. Aim for the stars. Aim for the stars. Listen, man, 1 million a year. 1 million. Is it possible to make $1 million in a year? Of course it is. But why aren't we thinking like that, Kim? Why aren't we thinking like that, Pastor Brother Claire? Why aren't we? Listen, somebody's going to make $1 million in a year. Somebody's going to make $1 million in a year. And I've discovered, okay? I've discovered, Miss Cynthia, that there are principles that if applied, you too can make $1 million in a year. But guess what I never did? I never made it a goal. I never made it a priority. I kept walking around the idea. I kept mingling with the idea. I kept playing around the idea of making money, but I never called it out. Oh, somebody, come on. I never called it out. $1 million a year. Come on, making $1 million within a year through your company and the services and all of your different ideas. Is it possible? Of course. As a matter of fact, okay, thank you, Kim. Lacking financial focus. That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, listen, $1 million a year, you can make $1 million in a year, but somebody can give you $1 million in a day. That's how obtainable this whole idea is. But when I wrote that down and thought about doing a class on it, it shook my mind, John Wells. It shook my mind. Who will give you the audacity to talk about learning how to make $1 million a year? If you don't learn how to make $1 million a year, guess what? You will never have $1 million a year. Okay, I'm ready to shout right now. If you don't learn how to make $1 million a year, you'll never make $1 million a year. So yes, sir, Pastor Claire, aim high, aim high. Oh, let me tell you something. I love trying to apply what I teach, but also I notice, I watch my track record. Lately, I've been playing safe, boy. Oh my God. In the last 10 years, in some aspects, I've been playing safe. In certain aspects, I've been playing safe. And I'm telling you, at this season of my life, you got to take the lid off. Okay? Lynette, you got to take the lid off. Pastor Claire, you got to take the lid off. Kim, you got to take the lid off. You got to get to the point where you realize only me is limiting me. Ooh. Let me say it again. Only me is limiting me. So I'm taking the lid off. Someone is going to make $1 million a day. Why can't I teach how to make $1 million in a year? How to make $1 million in a year? Why is it that we won't focus on breaking the code, figuring out the combination to making $1 million a year? Hello, come on, just realizing I'm going to go and lean in to what no one in my family has leaned into. We're talking elevated living. Hey, Miss Johnson, I saw you on the tower. I saw you at the top. I love being at the top. I love being at the top. Now, here's what I know about being at the top. It costs to be at the top. Ooh. Karen, listen, babe, we going to the top. Next stop, the top. Next stop, the top. We could talk that talk, but if you don't zone in on your focus and realize that you are responsible for adjusting your behavior to get to the top. So when I look at my life and when I look at what I've been focusing on, I realize, why haven't you made a goal to make $1 million in a year? And Pastor Claire, when I make $1 million in a year, here's the deal. When I make $1 million in a year, 3 years from now, hopefully you'll be able to hear your brother says, hey, how about making $5 million in a year? And next thing you know, how about making $10 million in a year? Somebody said, Miller, I don't like where you're going with this money thing. Then leave. Just go. You ain't supposed to be here. This ain't for you. Okay, this is for those who want to break generational curses. This is for those who are deciding, by God, listen, if someone is going to do it, why not me? Why can't I be in the circle of those who have acquired that level of success? Listen, man, listen, don't believe others are better than you when the truth is you serve the same God they serve. Come on. The Bible says God is not a respecter of person. God is not a respected person. So here's the deal. I'm not jealous of anybody, but I am responsible for maximizing my potential. I am living life to the fullest through work-life balance. I'm not going to burn out because here's the deal. I found my place. I'm living in my lane. I've now acquired an understanding that my life is going to be a reflection of what I give my attention to. Let me say it again. My life is going to be a reflection of what I give my attention to. We all like knowing someone who has $1 million, but very few people have made a commitment to make $1 million for themselves. Oh, I'm so proud of my friend who made $1 million. How about you now deciding that what I'm going to do is I'm going to elevate my life in every aspect? You know, elevate my life. Do you know? I wrote this down. I'm going to close with this. This is such a great statement, but this is going to help somebody. 80% of your problems can be solved with one thing. 80% of your problem can be solved with one thing: money. 80% of your problems can be solved with one thing: money. Put money in capitalized in money. But yet we avoid the subject and we think that little 9 to 5. I don't know if anybody here in this group has a job. No matter how loyal and committed you are, they're going to pay you $1 million a year. I don't know anybody in the group. I don't know anybody who's watching my platform where your job, you've been loyal, honest, committed, you showed up early, you stayed late, and they're going to pay you $1 million a year. If you don't commit to making your $1 million, if you don't commit to making your $1 million a year or $3 million a year or $5 million a year, let me tell you something. Ain't nobody giving you no $1 million a year, no $5 million a year, unless you bring your value of service to humanity to that degree. You get compensated in proportion to the value added to the world. Okay, what you bring to the marketplace, that's what the marketplace compensates you for. So we got to get into this understanding. Listen, 80% of my problems can be solved with one thing: money. So I'm not going to be afraid to address the money subject. Okay, 2024 is the $1 million year. 2024 is the $1 million year. And here's the deal: you can't start in 2024 to make $1 million in the year unless you're trying to win the lottery. I'm talking about adjusting your behavior and strategically putting into play the type of businesses and services and even work ethics to bring you to that $1 million year. Okay? To that $1 million year. Remind yourself, 80% of your problems can be solved with one thing. Woo! Money. Money. So if you haven't never put money as a priority, oh man, come on. If you have never listen, Kim, we're gonna have to make something branded with that on it. But if you have not put money as a priority in the game of doing life, then you're almost self-sabotaging yourself, because what happens is as soon as you try to plug this hole, you got another hole over here, you got another hole over here, another hole over here. Man, listen, and there is no shortage of money in the earth. Okay? And that's all the people in that room is going to be people. We're going to sit down and I'm going to have the drafts up and I'm going to show like 7 different approaches on how to make $1 million a year before we get into the new year. And then what we're all going to do is you're going to sit down and figure out what approach you're going to do so that when you wake up on day one, you say, listen, man, this is my hustle year. I'm coming for mines. Come on, I got to go. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming for mines. You need to get yours. God has so much in store for us, but we got to stop playing small and stop being unrealistic. And a lot of us are burning out because we're overextending ourselves because we ain't got no money. Come on, man, you have to do what you're having to do because you're broke. Okay, it's paycheck to paycheck, and you don't like where you are, and you can't sleep at night. You can't change the mattress. You can't even change the accommodation. Come on, man. I'm coming for all that's mine. Okay, in Jesus' name. I want God to be glorified. I don't want to have to. I want to choose to. Hello, somebody. I don't want to have to. I want to choose to. And listen, like-minded people need to stay together as they climb to the top because it's an encouragement. But let me tell you something. Trying to go to the top alone, it's possible, but it's more difficult. That's why I like our community. 2024, we're talking getting all aspects of our lives together. And one of the things we ain't going to be is no broke group. We're talking ambassadors. If a check needs to be written, we can write a check. If a contribution needs to be given, we can give a contribution. Come on, man. If an adjustment needs to be made, we can make adjustments. Money won't be our issue moving forward. Come on. Don't be afraid to address the money. I'll talk a lot more about this in the weeks to come because we're coming into that workshop, coming in hot with the understanding there's some money to be made. And why shouldn't I be in the game to get mine? Well, nobody can stop you from getting yours. It is up to you to go in the game and play to win. I'm playing to win. Can I get 10 of you this morning to tell yourself, I'm playing to win in every area of my life? God bless you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.